Let's make a Pakistani style chicken and rice bowl. Chicken and rice exists in every culture and it makes an easy and healthy meal. To start, we're going to need to make a garam masala. First with some coriander seeds or dhania in Urdu, then some cumin, jeera. We're then going to go with some green cardamom, elaichi, as well as 2 cloves, long, a generous amount of black pepper, kali mirch, and then some cinnamon from a cinnamon stick, darchini. I accidentally added a bit too much and had to take some out because I'm not trying to do the cinnamon challenge. We're then going to need about half of a dried bay leaf, tel patta, and lastly, some spade of mace, which is the outer layer of a nutmeg. I don't know what this is called in Urdu. Get those guys toasty until that smell hits and set aside. For our marinade, we're going to go with some store-bought kebab masala and then some smoked paprika to introduce that color and smokiness. We're going to mix that up and heat up some ghee or oil to temper these spices, which is going to take the color and flavor of this marinade to the next level. Now let's add some Greek yogurt to help tenderize our chicken. This is a common ingredient for Pakistani barbecue marinades, and it's going to help prevent our chicken from drying out during the cooking process. Mix that together and go with some ginger and garlic paste, and then the zest and juice of a lemon to get that fresh citrus flavor, and then finally a bit of our garam masala from earlier. Of course, don't forget to salt this generously. This is going to help highlight the flavor of all those spices and aromatics. Now that we've ensured we will not be eating any bland chicken, we want to go in with our marinade. I'm using a mix of dark and white meat. And then we want to mix this to make sure all of our chicken pieces get coated. And then let this marinate for at least an hour, but preferably overnight. While the chicken's taking in all that flavor, let's start on some of our toppings. We're going to want to chop an eggplant into some chunks, and of course this needs to be seasoned. So we're going to go in with some of that garam masala from earlier, ginger garlic paste, and tamarind. Mix this well to make sure every piece of the eggplant gets coated in that seasoning. Then add it to a lightly greased baking sheet and pop it in the oven so it gets crispy. Every good chicken and rice bowl needs a good sauce, so let's get started on a green chutney. We're going to go in with some mint and cilantro, and then we're going to add in a little bit of lemon juice and then some Greek yogurt and blend that down until we get our sauce. Additionally, you can add a little bit of mayonnaise to get a more luxurious taste and texture, which might be blasphemy to some of those chutney purists out there, but who cares? You do you. I won't tell them. Once that's done, let's be healthy and chop some cucumbers. Don't try this at home, but I do it like this, by cutting an X and then slicing horizontally and repeating to get those nice quarters. I know this is dangerous, but I don't care because I think it looks cool. Do the same thing with a tomato, and then let this chill. Only add salt right before you serve, or else you're going to get a watery salad. Next, we're going to prep our rice. I'm using some long grain basmati. Rinse your rice until the water runs clear. This is not optional. And then we're going to let that soak for about half an hour until the grains change from being opaque to having that solid white color. This is going to help ensure that the rice cooks evenly. In a saucepan, bloom a bit of turmeric and some ghee to give our rice a nice color. Be careful not to burn the turmeric because then you're going to need to start all over again. When it turns a dark orange and has that aroma, you're ready to add in your rice. I'm cooking this in yakhni, which is a Pakistani style spiced chicken broth, but you can also use water or store-bought chicken broth if that's easier. Bring this to a boil and let it go until the liquid levels with the rice. Then cover this, reduce the heat to low, and let it steam for about 15 to 20 minutes. When your rice is fully cooked, make sure that you fluff it up with a fork. This is going to prevent your rice from clumping up. Then I went in with some cilantro to give the rice a bit of freshness, but this is optional if cilantro tastes like soap to you. Now to cook our chicken, we're going to want to heat a lightly greased skillet in the oven and go in with some white onion to act as a base. Then go in with our marinated chicken and get that out into an even layer, and then top it with the rest of our sliced white onion. At this point, your kitchen should start smelling really good. I'm actually going to remove the pan juices to let the chicken get a bit more brown and crispy, but we are not letting that flavor go to waste. Instead, we're going to reduce it and add it at the end to give our chicken a nice finish. And that's all the elements of our Pakistani chicken kebab rice bowl. This makes for a great meal prep without compromising on flavor. While this exact dish isn't traditional, it's a great way of enjoying those authentic Pakistani flavors on a weeknight. Rice bowls are so universal and customizable based on your preferred tastes or nutrition goals, and while humble and affordable, it can become something special with the right technique.